There was a festival called Future Music Festival, which used to land on my birthday weekend every weekend. My birthday's the 2nd of March. So like, sweet, 20,000 people at my birthday. It was amazing. Um, Though what I'd like to shift a little bit is like I was going there to listen to music, though I was full of pingers and whatever I get my whole gear, alcohol to have a really good time. Every time I went out to listen to music in nightclubs, I had to be inebriated to dance and to be my fullest expression. Have you guys ever struggled? Because I know when we go on the Blokes Venture retreats, we do what we call an ecstatic dance, where we dance, we pump some tunes, and we cycle through, like Dan was mentioning, we cycle through the elements with music. And these men, we get them to dance for an hour without any alcohol, without any numbing devices to be their fullest expression. Were you guys like me? Was it a struggle for you to dance and be your fullest expression when listening to music, or have you been super comfortable?
Yeah, for me, I was just talking to someone the other day about this topic, but I struggled to dance. I thought I needed substance or 1,000 beers because I was worried about everyone looking around, and I think thinking that they were going to be judging me for what I was doing, and I'd down another beer and I'd really want to do it and go and do it, but I thought I had to have all this substance and get out of my complete mind because I wanted to dance and I wanted to feel that music and bring that in. But there was just something there. I was so fearful of being judged. And at your retreat, I experienced, and the event that I went to prior to your retreat, it was maybe a couple of months, and I couldn't drop in. I couldn't feel good. I was acting like I was judged. And that's when the first time at your retreat, when we danced for that hour and a half, that's when I surrendered and let everything go and just went into that state of flow and allowed that music to come over you and nourish you, and you almost become that music, and there's no judgment and there's no nothing. And it's, for me, it's one of the most beautiful things I've been able to experience in life, when you can really just let go and become that music and feel and really feel that no one's judging you, no one's looking at you. They're wanting, if they are, they're wanting to be dancing like you, and it's powerful.
Yeah, bro. I heard this. I watched this. Someone on Instagram talking about that self judge. Like, people are looking at us. Like, how much of a selfish thought's that? That a whole nightclub is looking at me, looking at you. Like, everyone's looking at me. Like, how selfish are we? But yeah, like the natural DMT that we are able to tap into. The first time that I got to go to an ecstatic dance was with Preston and Alexi. They did one. And like you're saying, man, is to for the very first time in my life, not have any substance in me, tap into my fullest expression. Man, left my body. It was like this euphoric feeling. I had to go lay down for 30 minutes, but it was just insane, man. Like this natural DMT that went off. And so, yeah, it's interesting because I've now gone to ecstatic dances, cacao parties, that kind of stuff. And I noticed that fear's still there a little bit, that fear of what other people think. And so I just got to do some breathing, get back into the heart space, and then like, cool. And then be able to relax and just be able to move. So yeah, Matty, were you like Dan and I? Did you need some inebriation?
Yeah, 100%. And even translating that into like my drumming, I used to get so self-conscious. When I first started drumming, I had all these cymbals in front of me so no one could see me on stage, and I could kind of hide behind the drum kit a little bit. And yeah, I think going to the retreat and doing that dance was the first time that feeling ever came across to me. And like what Dan was saying, that tapping into that flow state and just everything kind of becomes a bit of like this beautiful blur, and it's all just like, it is like you're on ecstasy. There is no other way of saying it. You're just part of this beautiful collective in it. And I think surrendering, that's such a key word in that, surrendering to that process. And that's the same again when it comes to playing music. I can't force myself to get into a flow state. I just have to surrender to it. And the moment that happens, the change is almost instant when it's true surrender.
Yeah, man.
It's really beautiful.
I'll keep talking about this ecstatic dance we do at the retreat, because after that dance, we sit down and we always have a share circle, and the openness of all the men and the shares is like, I've never danced like that. And even out at a nightclub, I've never gone that hard. I've never just been that full expression. And it's really interesting. Something you said, Maddie, is like that it's so beautiful because maybe these men are having that very first real essence of full surrender, of letting go, being around another 30 or 40 men, not being judged. And all of these individuals are doing this at the same time, having a collective experience. And then like the energy is just amazing, man. And so, yeah, it is really, really beautiful. And so for any men that are here listening then and were exactly where we have been, it's like, fuck, man, I don't know how I could ever dance without any alcohol. You definitely can. And my invitation is like to go try it. Like actually, if go out to a nightclub, try it. Try going out to a nightclub sober and see if you can do it. Find an ecstatic dance in your local town, a cacao party, and go just have a try to see that if you can be your fullest expression without alcohol. I just know that it's a really big topic. I know it's off topic of this music, but it does. Music and alcohol really goes hand in hand, I feel, especially for men. And so you don't. And this is one of the things when I first went sober, the mate I used to knock around with, they said to me, "Who are you going to be if you give up alcohol? Who are you going to be?" As if it was like part of my identity, and that's something that I had created. This larrikin, playful, jovial bloke, Blaze, and always had a beer all in his hand. And it was interesting because I had to question myself. It's like, oh, well, who am I going to be? I remember going out. The very first place I went to was the Storybridge Hotel in Brisbane. First time I ever went out. It was on a Sunday. They had an amazing Sunday session. And I went out on a Sunday. It was the very first time I went out sober. And I didn't know what to do I didn't know what the fuck to do with my hands because I'd always have a drink. I was just so self-conscious, like that. Everyone's looking at me, but I didn't know what to do with my hands, and I just kept. It was so fidgety for like a good couple of hours, like put them in my pockets and then folding my arms and then trying to touch a table. But all I was focusing on was my hands. And what I realized was alcohol was this armor. I was just wearing an armor, using it as a shield to just block this like full expression myself. So yeah, thank you for allowing me to relive that, man.